Although it will take years for the damage of the St. Helens mud flows to be restored, there are wonderful signs that the streams are already beginning to cleanse themselves. Here's Pat in the continuation report of The Rivers.
In the initial onslaught of the Toutle, over 20 bridges were ripped from their foundations. Many have been rebuilt, but planning has not caught up with some places, such as here at the town of Toutle, where huge gashes in Route 504 are still a gap where a bridge once stood. A Bailey Bridge a half-mile downstream carries 504 traffic while plans are made for replacement. A lesser-known Bailey Bridge spans the Toutle on Tower Road, and here authorities seem more confident. A new concrete bridge being constructed here is nearly complete. Initial dredging on the Cowlitz from Castle Rock to Longview Kelso has been completed, but some maintenance work is being done at the confluences with both the Toutle and Columbia rivers. Dredging of the ship channel along an 8-mile stretch of the Columbia will continue into next year. At Astoria, continued silting of the dock area has forced additional dredging to maintain ship berths. And a port spokesman says recent purchase by the port of the Corps' dredge Lucky Mute will make the cost more reasonable. National Marine Fisheries is keeping close tabs on what damage may be done by the silt to the estuary at the mouth of the Columbia. Spokesman Terry Durkin says testing during the coming summer should reveal more of, quote, what we need to know. Domestic water supplies of the towns damaged or destroyed by the mud flows may get a boost with federal help. The Federal Emergency Management Agency figures the federal share of water projects to supply Toutle, Castle Rock, Longview, and Kelso will exceed $10 million. A FEMA spokesman says the agency has also paid out over $4 million in flood insurance claims and another $900,000 to 16 property owners in a buyout program. Local government costs connected with cleanup and emergency planning are, of course, a big problem, but a recent session of the Washington legislature failed to help solve that problem. Of the principal cities, only Castle Rock qualified for state monetary aid. Much previously valuable pasture land, farmland along the Cowlitz was ruined, and because the owners do not qualify for flood insurance or buyout, they impatiently are waiting for Congress to act on their pleas for assistance. Cattle raiser Sam Hornstra, whose farm was reduced from 110 to 20 acres by the silt.
You can use that farm. I mean, that farm, there's no more farm left. I mean, it's only 20 acres, so what can you do with 20 acres? We got 50 head of cows on 20 acres, so it's impractical.
And you'll perhaps remember Jesse Amos, another cattle raiser whose helicopter airlift of his stranded animals won wide attention. His herd is now on rented pasture, while construction work connected with the recovery projects is his livelihood. Another famed survivor of the mud flows was a small, mostly poodle dog. Poodly Mama almost died of complications following delivery of a litter of pups, but she was saved by a Longview veterinarian. Though many wanted her, the pooch went to a Detroit, Michigan couple who renamed her Ashley. Among the most determined animals to survive are the river's fish, and according to Washington Game Department biologist Bob Lucas, he is encouraged. And here on the South Fork of the Toutle River, a make-do facility that is a sign of life that is also helping to restore life. A fish trap at the spillway of the containment dam. The plan, says Lucas, is both to take eggs from fish for production at hatcheries and to transport fish above the dam for natural spawning. Lucas is especially encouraged because the small aquatic life necessary to feed the fish are returning to both forks of the tortured Toutle.
These are so small they might seem insignificant, but these are the start of life in the river. What you got here, you've got some algae starting to grow on the rock, you've got some little stone flies, you've got these caddis flies which are in cases here, and you've got some beetle larvae. That's quite a diversity for this stream. So these things are starting to come back, and it's very encouraging to see this type of thing in the river.
While dredging of the streams pulled the plug on major flooding this past winter, Cowlitz County Emergency Services pulled together a plan of alarm and evacuation to warn and aid people in the event serious flooding does occur.
It covers the evacuation warning for the public, the sheltering, mass care, and the response of the different organizations and agencies to make it all work.
New danger of flood is now posed by Coldwater Lake, which has formed behind the mud flow perhaps 8 miles from the crater. For weeks, core drilling to bedrock has been done, and late this month, the Corps of Engineers will open bids on work designed to cut an overflow channel into the new body of water and drain it down to a reasonably safe size. Otherwise, it is feared the volume of water could break through the mud and send another catastrophic flood down the Toutle Valley. Years of tending the rivers at astronomical cost is in the future, but it is necessary to the safety of the people, as obligatory as keeping the other eye on the volcano itself. On Mount St. Helens, this is Pat Wilkins for Channel 2 News.
Tomorrow, the story on ash fallout from Kim Gilbert.